Hey everybody, yeah, it is about 3:45 p.m. I know I didn't do anything earlier like I did yesterday. I slept in a little bit more today, mainly because of the fact that I did some content yesterday. Of course, the wrestling vids that I put up and everything. So, the CAW ones and all that. Um, but yeah, those were about 15, 16 hours ago, and then the other one I did about the follow up on the DIC Sega lawsuit from 1995, and how that should basically be a reflection of what is going on here, and a message, if you will, to those that think they have the rights and ownership to certain characters when in fact they don't. And I think that's a message loud and clear for someone like, let's say, a Ken Penders and an Ian Flynn and Evan Stanley and anybody else that says, hey, I created that character, I own it. No, you don't. You don't own that character. Sega does. Because you could say that you didn't agree to anything, but if you're writing for you're creating a character, you're writing some lore for a book based on a very popular franchise like Sonic, yeah, you're pretty much, whether you like it or not, you're pretty much handing over ownership of everything to the people that own the character himself. So hopefully that's a message that gets, with the revelation 30 years later of this lawsuit, hopefully that's a message that gets sent, and heard by the likes of a Penders, a Flynn, and a Stanley, and anybody else. So that way they could be like, hey, if that's what happened with DIC, one of the leading animation studios at that time, if that's what happened with them with them and Sega for a while, that kind of fractured trust. It fractured trust and everything until about 1998, 1999 when Sonic Underground came around. But from what I understand, Sega oversaw that a little bit more than they did Sat-AM, although still they went and did their own thing with it. The only catch that I want you to notice is there was no reports of animation cells being sold then from Sonic Underground or anything. And I want you to also notice that it only went for about 40 episodes, because I think that's when Sega realized, hey, this isn't selling our adventure, a Sonic Adventure game, and Dreamcast. This is just something totally different. So that's why Sonic Underground only lasted for 40 episodes and should have had a proper conclusion, which it kind of did thanks to Archie Sonic Online. But, be that as it may, this has got to be a message to anybody. I mean, this is why I think when you look at Sonic X, the Sega team, Sega of America, Sega of Japan was overseeing that. Sonic Boom, the same thing. Sonic Prime, the same thing. They were overseeing all of this. They were like giving the okay, but they were overseeing all of it. Yeah, Sega is more lenient in what you can do, but, basically now, basically then and now, they're still going to keep a close eye on things. And like I said, this is why people like Penders and, Stanley and Flynn and anybody else should kind of reconsider their decisions and be like, hey, I don't own the character, and, that I thought I owned. I'm just going to give it back to them. Be done with it. But be that as it may, that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is the news that dropped this morning, and you see it right here. Andre Meadows, on his YouTube page, to a YouTube short, announced it. MeTV Toons allowed him to announce it, that this year, there is no defined date yet. There's no definitive release date yet. But this year, we will be getting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1987 to 1997 10-year run on MeTV Toons. We don't know when, when it's going to come out, because again, a release date has not been officialized, but it is happening. It is happening. Now, what's interesting about this, and excuse me there, I kind of let a little burp out, but what's interesting about this is Andre did an interview with one of the people in charge of MeTV Toons. You can check it out on his YouTube page. And basically, he was asked about TMNT, and the guy basically told Andre that yes, they would like to have TMNT, but it's one of those shows that you would have to really shill out some money for. A lot of, financial funds for and everything. You have to really shill out the dough, if you know what I mean, to get it. Well, apparently MeTV Toons, which is going to be celebrating its 1-year anniversary of debuting this June, as well as its 1-year anniversary of being announced a month prior in May. That to me, I think is when we might get a release date announcement for TMNT. But obviously, what I was trying to say, obviously they've done well enough. They've done well enough financially, through getting a huge percentage. Getting a huge percentage from all the subsidiary over-the-air stations, if you will, as well as getting a percentage to Philo and Friendly, those being the streaming apps they're on. Obviously they've been getting a big enough percentage to them, through DVR recordings, through viewerships and all that. They've been getting a good financial backing with this, or return, I should say, not just backing, but return, that obviously they had enough to finally work out a deal with Paramount, with Nickelodeon, to say, hey, we want the TMNT. Now, that's going to be a question a lot of people ask as well. It's like, how is that possible? Nickelodeon and Paramount have the rights to TMNT. How is that possible? Again, they worked out a deal. But I think what they wanted to do is they wanted to wait financially to make sure they got a good investment back on the MeTV Toons venture they were going on, and obviously they did. Like I said, through the percentages of airings and DVR recordings, and everything from the subsidiary over-the-air stations, as well as streaming services like Philo and Friendly TV. Obviously, this is enough for them not only to acquire the distributing license, for TMNT on their end, but it also feels like it's enough financially, enough of a return financially to potentially, because they had talked about this in that interview Andre did with the individual, or with the guy. Basically, the idea is not just to acquire shows like TMNT, which a lot of people thought at first was a long shot, but then, hey, if you could get Super Friends, you could get all the Super Friends shows from the mid-70s to the mid-80s. If you can get them on MeTV Toons, and that's a big get, then TMNT is not out of the question. And obviously this morning, seeing this news has proven that. It is not out of the question. It's not out of the realm of possibility. And again, with them getting such a financial return, because that's the only way they could have made this happen, obviously they're also looking towards making another idea that they want to bring to the table, a reality as well, and that's having a MeTV Toons app. That's right, a MeTV Toons app. Now, what would that mean if they get an app? Well, obviously that means you would have the MeTV Toons information in one place. In one place, you'd have the MeTV Toons information in one place, but also you might be able to watch MeTV Toons at the time, that's localized for you. That's my thought. Because right now, if you use Friendly TV and Philo, as I've said before, and I've mentioned this many times, if you use Friendly TV and Philo, you gotta go by the Eastern time. That's right, you gotta go by Eastern time. So, for example, I'm gonna look this up right now. For example, if you were to, let me see, MeTV Toons, bring that up here. If you were to watch MeTV Toons, like I'm going to bring it up, here it is, Sacramento, alright, okay, so here's the antenna, so the antenna schedule for Sacramento, the Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto, on KMAX 31.6. Here's what's on right now. Woody Woodpecker. The Woody Woodpecker show is on right now. And that's going to be followed by Super Friends. So, and then followed by Tom and Jerry and Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Jetsons, Flintstones, you name it. That's what's on right now locally through over the air. Locally through over the air. Now, What about Friendly TV? Friendly TV on right now is the Jetsons. That's right, Jetsons, is on right now. And that's Eastern time zone because they're going by the Eastern time zone right now. They're going by Eastern. So right now, like I said, the Jetsons are on because it's 6:30 Eastern, on like the East Coast. That's what they're doing. Now you might say, well, what about Philo? Philo is the same way, I believe. Philo is the same way, I believe. Yes, they are. Philo streaming is the same way. Friendly TV and Philo TV are the same way. So instead of watching like Woody Woodpecker like you'd be watching right now, or getting ready to watch Super Friends like you'd be getting ready to watch right now locally, instead you'd be watching Jetsons because the streaming services go by the Eastern time zone. Now, why do I bring this up when it comes to the potential of them having an app? Well, I think the reason they'd probably want to have an app, like I said, is to give folks like you and me the opportunity to watch our shows locally. Not just have to depend on the Eastern schedule, no, but watch them locally. That's right, locally. In other words, instead of watching the Jetsons through, like, say, Friendly TV or Philo, instead, you'd be watching Woody Woodpecker, getting ready to watch Super Friends after that as well. That's what you'd be watching. And I think that's the idea, maybe, in my opinion, I'm just guessing here, my opinion as to why they want to do the app. So that way, not only do you have the MeTV Toons website, and information of what's coming on, television that day or streaming that day, what shows might be coming soon and all that, yada, yada, yada. But also the possibility to give you the option to localize the app so that you will watch shows at your time. I think that's probably what they plan to do. They probably plan to utilize the app so that way you could say, okay, because when you set up an app, like let's say, HBO Max or whatever, they always ask you what time zone do you live in, right? So for a lot of us, for me anyway, I live on the West Coast. I live in Pacific time zone. So my thought, again, so my theory, I should say, well, not just my thought, but my theory is what's going to happen is if that is the case with the MeTV Toons app, what's going to happen, in my opinion, mind you, is I think they are going to allow you to basically put, your local time in there. So if you live on the West Coast, Pacific time, you'll be able to go like, okay, California, Pacific time or whatever. And in that way, you'll be able to watch the shows at the time they come on locally for you. Same thing if you live in the mountains. Same thing if you live in the Midwest, East Coast, Hawaii, Alaska. You'll be able to localize, the time on the app so you watch the shows that come on at your local time instead of the Eastern time. But that's just a guess on my part. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. They might just stick with what Friendly TV and Philo are doing. But my opinion is I think that the reason they're going to try to make this MeTV Toons app a reality next, after basically announcing TMNT is coming, is so that way you and I and others can watch those shows on the app at the times we live by, at the times we're under, locally. But again, just my opinion. But what does this mean overall, though, for the future of MeTV Toons, going on a 1 year since it was founded or announced in May, and 1 year since its debut, which will be in June? What does this mean, getting this big of an acquisition? Well, what it means basically is nothing is off the table. We have seen that. I mean, you look at this past holiday season, we had numerous specials of characters that we normally would not see. Normally would not see on MeTV Toons. We would normally not see them, but the specials were there. One of them, as I mentioned earlier, I mentioned his name earlier, I should say, is Sonic. because, like I said, I mentioned earlier about the whole lawsuit situation and everything, and how that was posted 15 hours ago, and that's why I haven't posted anything all day until now. Anyway, getting back on point, Sonic is another license that could be acquired. It could be. You can't tell me that when they got the license for TMNT from Paramount, they aren't talking to others, as well. They're not talking. You can't tell me they're not talking to Sega, Wild Brain, you name it, Warner Brothers. You can't tell me they're not talking to get more. I'm trying to find out what it was. More entertainment, more bang for your buck, if you will. More bang for your buck when it comes to, their station, their streaming service, if you will. You can't tell me that they're not trying their best to give you more bang for your buck, because they are. I mean, they have advertised the likes of Quickie Koala. They have announced, the likes of Silverhawks. We have yet to see those, but I got a feeling those will be coming this year as well, because I think what they want to do is they want to establish MeTV Toons first as a powerhouse entity that, stays true to what it says it is, and that's 24-hour or 24/7 cartoon animation. I think they want to establish that first, on its own 2 feet, and then start bringing in the big guns, if you know what I mean. They start bringing in the big guns, So I'm gonna expect a big announcement to come by the time we get to the 1-year founding anniversary, which will be in May. The 1-year debut anniversary, which is in June, we could get some announcements there, but I think when we hit May 1st, 2025, this year, that's when you're going to probably get, some announcements, for what new shows are going to be coming, what the release dates will be, and all that to MeTV Toons. That's when I think we're going to get some major confirmation of the shows that are already teased for MeTV Toons, like Silverhawks, Quickie Koala, Thundercats. I've got a feeling it's going to be on there as well, and so on. As well as, not just, them getting, not just their release dates as well, along with them. I'm trying to find what words to say. But also, we'll get a release date for TMNT as well. And that's just my opinion. And I got a feeling what they're going to do with TMNT is they're going to do the same thing they did with Super Friends. They're going to do a marathon. They're going to do a marathon about a week or two before the official release date for TMNT. So expect a marathon to come our way later this year for TMNT. But like I said, I think come May 1st of this year, we're going to get, confirmation of, the release date for TMNT and the release date and confirmation of Silverhawks, Quickie Koala, Thundercats maybe, in my opinion, as well as some other shows that have been teased, hinted at, and all that. That's going to become part of MeTV Toons. I'm not going to be surprised if we don't hear something about Sonic 2. Because, again, you acquire the rights to put Sonic Christmas Blast out. I think that's pretty much a hint and an indication that they're going to be bringing Sonic Sat-AM, Adventures of Sonic, and Sonic Underground to the table real soon. That's just my opinion. And I got a feeling we'll get that announcement potentially within the next several months. Again, maybe around the 1-year founding anniversary of MeTV Toons, which was May of this year, May 1st. But yeah, this is great news, guys, and I cannot wait for this to come out. My DVR is filling up. My unlimited DVR and Friendly TV is filling up. I cannot wait to fill it up more with TMNT as well as Silverhawks and other shows. I know I got them on DVD thanks to Frank Hill. Thank you, Frank Hill, for sending those my way. But I cannot wait to see, these on television, even through Friendly TV television, or through potentially Xfinity, Comcast finally taking one of the stations they have. One station's gone, which is Fuse TV, believe it or not, for right now. So I would not be surprised if maybe they make room because of that, and that's when we get MeTV Toons, but we'll see. Or we'll see down the line. But, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what happens here. Going forward, what other shows they're going to announce for, as acquisitions to be aired on MeTV Toons, to be part of it, I should say. Again, I think Thundercats is going to be coming in. We don't see them on the lineup like Silverhawks, but I truly believe they'll be coming in. I think we're going to get Pirates of Dark Water coming in. I think we're going to get, like I said, I think we're going to get all the Sonic shows from the 90s, coming in. We might even get Sonic X for all we know. And that could be part of the anime block, but, never say never. But yeah, I think, along with this being announced, because this is a huge announcement, ladies and gentlemen. I believe along with this announcement, it pretty much says nothing's off the table. And again, like with Sonic Christmas Blast being out last year, I think we're going to get all the Sonic cartoons, maybe even Sonic X, we'll have to see. But I definitely see the 3 90s cartoons coming in. Thundercats, like I said, I believe is coming in, along with the 2000 reboot. Not that Thundercats Go BS. Oh, hell no, not that. But the early 2000s reboot, I think is going to be there as well. He-Man and She-Ra, I definitely think are going to be a lock to be announced very soon, along with the He-Man 2000 reboot down the line. So I think that's what we're going to be getting announcement-wise. And yeah, we'll even get, along with that He-Man and She-Ra announcement, the Deke He-Man one as well, which was supposed to be a follow-up to the Filmation one, but really wasn't, according to people like Rowdy C. But I truly believe we're going to be getting a lot of those in the near future as announcements, as potential acquisitions coming in as to be part of MeTV Toons. I really do. I really do. And, they're not the only one. I think we're going to get Brave Star and everything as well. We'll get the Get Along Gang, I think, is going to be coming in. So just a bunch. I think we're going to get Shirt Tails as well. Yeah, we're just going to get a lot of shows coming in. SWATcast, I think, is a given as well. So just a lot of shows that'll be coming in and being part of MeTV Toons in the near future. And I think we're going to get an announcement of a lot of those kind of shows. Not everyone, not each one that I've mentioned, but some notable ones. I think we're going to get announcements of those within, like I said, within the founding anniversary of, the founding announcement anniversary of MeTV Toons, which was May of last year. That'll be May of this year, as well as the debut anniversary, which was last June. It's going to be 1 year this year. I think between May and June, the founding anniversary and the debut anniversary is when we're going to get some major announcements. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this. How do you feel about TMNT coming to MeTV Toons? What other shows outside of the ones that I mentioned do you think is going to be showing up? I know people want to see the OG Animaniacs and the OG Tiny Toons. I think TMNT coming in definitely opens that door as well. So expect them to be among some of the major announcements that MeTV Toons will probably bring to the table around, like I say, the founding announcement anniversary this May 1st, as well as the debut anniversary, which is this June. But guys, give me your thoughts overall. How do you feel about all this? What are you looking forward to the most when it comes to TMNT? When do you think it will be released onto MeTV Toons? And what other shows, like I said, do you think, outside of the ones I mentioned, do you think will also be coming to MeTV Toons and being announced as doing so within this year? Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Because I know a lot of people are happy about MeTV Toons being in existence, and it's because they want shows like this to finally be back where they belong on television. But guys, give me your thoughts overall. Like the video, ring the bell for notification, subscribe to the channel, click on the links in the description to find my content elsewhere here on the internet, as well as check out my Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. Also check me out at DeviantArt.com at BVW1979. And again, click on the links in the description. Find me at Odyssey.com at BWRoses, Rumble.com at BWRoses. Also check me out at InkBunny.net at BWRoses. Like I said, BVW1979 at DeviantArt.com. Also check me out at all your favorite audio podcast affiliates. Not audio podcast, but podcast affiliates. Yeah, all your favorite podcast affiliates. That's what I'm trying to say. Across the internet, like Pandora, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, you name it. You will find my podcast, BW Roses Discussions, there, where you'll also get video and audio versions of what I put here on YouTube. But guys, give me your thoughts overall. Like I said, what are you looking forward to the most when it comes to this? And do you think this announcement of TMNT coming in 2025 definitely open the door for some of the shows I've mentioned and some of the shows you're hoping for to be part of MeTV Toons in the future? And until next time, guys, talk to y'all later. Peace out.